My name is Henry Walker. I am 65 years old. And I've lived long enough to understand one simple, painful truth: people don't remember you, they remember what you can give them. I wake up every morning before sunrise. Not because I need to go somewhere. Habit is stronger than purpose. There was a time when my days began with phone calls, meetings, decisions that determine money, businesses, and human destinies. Now my day begins with silence. A silence so deep it feels like it has a sound. I lie there, staring at the ceiling. Thinking. Remembering. Waiting, though I don't know what I'm waiting for. I was a businessman. A successful one. I built everything from nothing. No support. No inheritance. No guarantees. I knew what hunger felt like. I knew fear. Maybe that's why, when money finally entered my life, I didn't turn it into an idol. I turned it into a tool. I remember my first major contract. My hands were shaking. I remember how people started looking at me differently, with more respect, more warmth. As if I had suddenly become more valuable as a human being. Back then, I didn't understand they weren't looking at me. They were looking at my possibilities. One day, I walked into a children's hospital. Not intentionally. I was accompanying a doctor I knew. And that's where I saw a child. A small boy. So thin that the blanket seemed heavier than his body. He was staring out the window in silence. I don't know why, but something inside me broke at that moment. I asked what was wrong with him. The answer was simple. There's no money for treatment. In that moment, business, accounts, numbers, all of it lost meaning. I paid. No contracts. No publicity. No expectations. The boy survived. And with him, a different version of me was born. I began helping children. First one. Then another. Then dozens. I saw mothers crying, holding onto my hands as if I were their last support in this world. I saw fathers unable to look me in the eyes, ashamed and hopeful at the same time. I never felt like a hero. I simply did what I could. But people started calling me kind. They talked about me. They invited me places. They thanked me. My phone never stopped ringing. I was needed. I was important. I was useful. I postponed my own life. Family. Love. Peace. I kept telling myself, later. Later, after one more child is saved. Later, after one more project. Later, when the world becomes a little better. The world didn't. And time passed. By 50, I was tired. By 55, I was sick. Doctors told me to slow down. My heart couldn't take it anymore. I handed over my business, believing life would finally begin. But along with the business, people disappeared. The phone went silent. Invitations stopped. Friends dissolved. And you know what hurt the most? Not the silence. But the fact that I understood why. They remembered me only when disaster returned. When money was needed again. When someone didn't know how to save a child. And I helped. Even when I started counting every dollar myself. Even when I needed support too. Even when no one asked if I was still holding on. I grew old. Slowly. Alone. I sit by the window for hours, watching others live. Grandfathers walking with their grandchildren. Families waiting for someone to come home. No one waits for me. Sometimes I wonder, if I disappear, who will notice? Who will say my name? Who will remember not the money, but me? I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm just tired. And yet, if my phone rings tomorrow and someone says, "Henry, we need help," I won't be able to say no. Because if I do, then what was all of this for? I lived a life where I was loved for what I gave. And forgotten for who I was. But I still believe this. Somewhere in this world, lives continue because of me. And if that's true, then my life was not in vain. My name is Henry Walker. I am 65 years old. And even if the world forgets me, my kindness will remain.